Social security. Now, I feel like a lot of people don't know what social security is until they get their first job. When I was in high school, maybe even like a tiny bit in middle school, we're just like, yeah, there's property taxes. Obamacare when it used to be called that instead of Medicare. And if you live in a town like me, which sucks, you get like the town tax, which I didn't even know was a thing until I looked at my receipt and I realized for the first time, oh, they add like an extra dollar, which is only $1, but it's still an extra dollar off like what you buy. Like really? Because, they just started repairing the roads. I mean, the people want this, right? The people want social security tax gone. When you get your social security, there shouldn't be a tax on it. And people are like, just get rid of all taxes. Yeah, like, which is a fever dream, of course. And people like want to get rid of Medicare tax, all these taxes. Why has no one mentioned getting rid of social security tax, actually? But they don't want to get rid of social security because it benefits them. It benefits them. It's a scam. It feels like I'm being gaslighted by other people. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? But unless you have a job in America, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just the only one that gets, but the amount of money that goes into the social security tax is ridiculous. When you get tax refunds, that's gone forever. You never see it back. Now, the way social security is written, it's all this money goes into a big pot that's given to all like Americans when they retire based on like how many years they worked, right? Why does that matter? Okay, let me get in depth here, right? Why do we need these taxes and this? I don't care what other. Why do I care? Listen, if there's this young kid, I don't know, middle-aged guy, middle-aged woman, this elderly person, and if they didn't prepare themselves for retirement, that's their fault. That's their fault. Me giving my money, there's social security benefits me in no way possible. In no way possible. And it's not even a lot of money, but it's a lot of money that gets taken out of my check. Now, right here, I have some W-2s from my workplaces. Old, new, a few. So here we go. This is one of them when I forgot where I was working. Yes, I was working at Walmart. Social security tax, $431. Now listen, federal, damn, I lost it. Damn, I don't remember. It's a lot of money that went into federal, right? But compared, I'm pretty sure I got a tax refund on that. I don't remember, honestly. Honestly, maybe I didn't. That sucks. I don't think I did my taxes. I'm 100% overpaid. That is actually such a shame. I would have probably got that refunded. When I was working at Amazon, $121 went into federal. I did not last at Amazon, I will say that. Did not last that long. 121 in federal, and $113 into social, and $26 into Medicare. Now, I actually didn't get anything, and they didn't take out taxes for federal, which is weird. I always overpay taxes, hence why I probably would have got the $1,000 or like $500 back, because I always overpay. $147 from Social Security here, and then $34 in Medicare, which I just don't understand. Why do I say I because I feel like I'm the only person that just hates it. Do I pay Social Security? Why do I? And I feel like it's always the middle-aged people that are like, there should be no tax on Social Security. But those are the same people that complained for so long about Medicaid. Now, was it Medicaid? Medicare, whatever the hell it's called, right? Or Obamacare. Now, I understand if you're like, why do I have to pay for someone else's insurance, right? Same thing. If they don't have insurance, that's their fault, right? Not, of course, like people say. And that's the other thing. Not everyone can afford retirement. Not everyone can afford healthcare. Not everyone exactly can put like a paycheck into healthcare and all this stuff, right? But why is it so expensive? They like the Medicaid, right? That honestly, I would 100,000% pay a little bit more into someone's health that can make them continue working so they can reach their goals, rather than pay my money into Social Security that just goes into a big pot. It's crazy. Dude, no one even knows what happens to the big pot. It's absolutely horrendous. Pay Social Security, and it shouldn't be taxed. It shouldn't exist. People should not have to pay for Social Security. It's ridiculous because it's for retirement. It annoys me more when I see, elderly people and they have like, that pizza was $40. The pizza's $40, or they have a pizza in not a Lambo, but a Tesla, or a goddamn, I can't think of not a Lamborghini, but a sports car, a Mustang, an old Mustang that was like 100K or something. When they have those cars, now, like I said, when you get Social Security, it isn't a lot. People are like that's why it shouldn't get taxed, because it isn't a lot already. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. So here's March 17th through 30th. This is how much went into taxes. $8 went into Arizona. I don't know what the hell will zero into. $6 went into Medicare. $26 went into Social Security. Now, I don't know why. It don't make no. I hear people always complain about taxes, but they never complain about Social Security taxes. Are they just taking a big chunk out of me? Is this like the middle-aged scam? I wonder. Are like the middle-aged people not getting that big of a chunk of Social Security taken out of their checks, so they just complain about property taxes and other stuff? Because the amount of money that goes into that tax versus other taxes needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. It doesn't make sense. It's so much money. Look, 2024. Let's see here. I'm looking at all my paychecks right now. They took $984. $984. Actually, no, they took, adding it all together. Let's see here. $1,100. $1,100. 1.1K that went into Social Security. Guess how much my federal is? $39. $39. I overpay my federal. And it's 39, and I got a refund on that. I got a refund on both my federal and state taxes last year. Well, this year technically. You get me. $1,000, $44 went into tax that went into Medicaid. These days make me sick. I'm so tired of the Republican, the Democrat, the Trump supporters, because there's a lot of them. You're telling me there's the amount of people that are like, no taxes on tips, and then they're like, oh, this shouldn't happen. There should be no taxes at all. And then I'm like, yeah, cause the Great Depression again. Yeah, cause the Great Depression again. That's a great idea. And then they're like, there should be no tax on Social Security. There shouldn't be no Social Security. There shouldn't be no Obamacare. There shouldn't be no Social Security. There shouldn't be no Social Security. The amount of money that goes into Social Security is unbelievable, at least on my part. I don't know if there's some glitch in the system where they just take almost 2,000. Okay, that's a little dramatic. Almost 2K. Almost 1K. We'll round it out. Almost 1K out of all my paychecks in total. And I've been working here for maybe almost 10 months, I want to say. I started October. No, I started September, maybe? 7 months. It's not even the best job. And I have barely enough hours. That's why I have another job, which also gets just gouged by Social Security because it's part-time, and I try to request hours, but they can't because it's overstaffed, but whatever, right? Lost $1,000 that went into Social Security. And you know what's crazy? This year it's more. It's like I look at the paycheck, right? And you like I said, the app, it tells you how much it's taken out. Right now it's been 3 months, I think, this year, and it's at 400 already. 431. And like sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes I don't understand how sometimes I'll make less money and more Social Security gets taken out. It doesn't make sense. And this rant's for me. It isn't gonna change. But I had to find a community out there because no, I don't see no man complain about Social Security. I really don't. Be able to do anything in the future versus right now. Inflation too, it don't make no sense the way America retirement is dead because people are so stupid. They can't just, if someone doesn't know how to invest and save, that is your fault for not learning. If you buy a brand new Mustang that has 1,000,000 car problems, then that is your fault. The amount of times I see people buy a Mustang, and can you guess how many times it breaks down? It's a lot. Yes. Fuck life.